Greetings, Hastings viewers. My name is Mike Bremer with HCTV. The school year has begun, and with me today is new Superintendent, Dr. Champa. How are we doing?
We're doing great. We are off and running and just anticipating an excellent start to the 23-24 school year.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit about your background and what's your story to becoming the superintendent of the Hastings School District?
Well, how far back do you want to go?
Where it's interesting. Wherever it's interesting. I
all
want to
right.
hear it. Give me the dirt, Dr. Champa.
Yeah, it's a long background, actually. So I grew up as an only child in Mazeppa, Minnesota, so if you know where that is.
I don't. Where is that?
It is southeastern Minnesota, about
Okay.
25 miles from Rochester.
Okay.
7 miles from Zimbrota. If you're
Okay.
familiar
Yep, I know
with-
Zimbrota.
Okay.
Got some family there.
All right, so that's where I grew up. My dad is still a business owner there.
Oh, cool.
And my parents still live there. And I went to a 2-story elementary building. And at one point, when I was in first grade, if you did something well, you were invited to take books that were being discarded. And so after a while, I would do anything to get a book. And you could also get teacher manuals that were being discarded. And so my parents set up a room in our basement as a mini classroom, and I started teaching.
So you had lots of books in there.
I had lots of books. I would march up and down the aisles and just fell in love with it. My parents loved to see that passion, and they fostered that. And one thing about my parents is with my dad, he's an auto body business, and just instilled an incredible work ethic that I'm incredibly proud of.
Awesome.
And so as I went on, I lost my way in middle school, like a lot of our students tend to do. And it truly was the power of a teacher who was able to see in me what I wasn't able to see for myself. And it happened to be my math teacher, who is no longer with us. And I wish I would have had the opportunity to tell her thanks, because there was a time that I was in basketball practice, and my name came across the intercom, and went upstairs, and there was my mom and my math teacher. And my math teacher was telling my mom how I was throwing away my gifts and was not living up to my potential. And for me, it's the first time I really remember somebody seeing in me what I didn't see in myself. And so
Isn't that cool when you see these
Oh my
teachers
gosh.
just go above and beyond? Where
Yeah.
They don't even have to go that above and beyond. But they're like, nope, I see this student needs a little extra support.
And if she didn't, I'm not sure when I would have maybe made that change.
Yeah, you could be in a different career right now.
Totally. And so after that, and also just hearing you're a gifted math student, and I had never heard that before. And so now how do I live up to those
Yeah.
expectations? After school, decided to obviously go into elementary education, finished my undergrad in 2.5 years. That was prior to any PSEO. My parents had a stipulation that if I wanted to get married, I needed a college degree. And so I was determined that I was going to do that quickly. And then, unfortunately, I graduated at a time when there were 300 to 400 applicants for every job.
Wow.
Which today is hard to even imagine
Yeah.
what that looked like.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get the first job that I interviewed for, and I was absolutely devastated. Ended up serving on the Mdewakanton Dakota Reservation for several years, and I'm so grateful for that experience. Ended up being hired as a community ed director, so I had my community ed director license. And then again, it was someone seeing in me what I didn't see in myself, and that was the school superintendent, and said, "You need to be our next principal."
Wow. What a compliment that
Yeah,
is.
my response to that was, "Thank you, but I need more time in the classroom," because I really hadn't done much of that other than subbing and early on. And so, as luck would have it, there was an opportunity to go into the classroom. And so I taught 5th and 6th grade, and I love to teach. And so many times, "Are you ready for a leadership position?" The answer was no. I just love to make learning come alive for kids each and every day. And so it was a long time until I decided to take on an elementary principal role.
Yeah. That's a big step then, going from teacher to
It was, but
principal.
just impacting students in a different way, right? Working a lot with curriculum and our staff, and just really loved that role so much that there was a retirement with the middle school principal.
Yeah.
And so then I took over that position as well and a budget cut. The problem was the schools were 7 miles apart, so a lot of driving.
That is a lot of driving. 7 miles. That's the nice thing with Hastings is you can do the loop
right,
pretty
you can
quick.
within minutes. So that's been great. From there, I went to a neighboring school district and served just 1 year as a K-8 principal, and then moved into the superintendent role.
Yeah.
And have been doing
That's
that
the really big step.
for 11 years. And once again, you impact students in a very different way. But I will say, I love everything about my job.
Yeah.
And it's a new challenge each and every day. So that's what brought me to this role.
Awesome. What's the biggest challenge going from principal to a superintendent position? Because everybody knows the position, but they maybe don't know all the challenges of it. So what was one of the more difficult things with transitioning to superintendent?
You know, I find urgency in everything I do. So I, right after I took the role, I described it as the checkered flag drops every morning when I park my vehicle. And I would still describe it that exact same way today. There are so many different facets with the superintendency, whether it's community engagement, whether it's really being active in all levels of a community, principal leadership, cabinet member, goals and responsibilities there, and just really setting the tone for the district, I think is all of it critical.
Yeah. Do you have any like projects or enhancements from your time at Pine Island that you're kind of proud of?
Oh, I'm proud of so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to brag.
All right. Well,
Do it.
one of there was a bond referendum request there multiple times that had failed. So when I joined the district, we were actually the largest K-12 building in the state of Minnesota that served all K-12. Fortunately, that bond referendum passed, and we had portable structures in the back of the building, and just so grateful for the support from the community. But it allowed for a new elementary building over the 11 years. There was a new elementary building. There was new fields, tore down a 1934 building and built back.
1934, that's old.
It was, and a tough loss,
Yeah.
but it was beyond repair. And then also just built a new early learning center that just opened last December. So proud of that. Also really proud of the strategic planning work that happened there and all of the alignment with the work that we're doing. And then programming, able to bring in a new house construction program, a lot of Project Lead the Way with biomedicine. Did a lot with that. And like I said, I'm just really proud of the work that was done.
Yeah, you should be. It's a great
I'm proud
accomplishment.
of the community and all of the people there.
Yeah. So what excited you about this Hastings superintendent position? Because you loved Pine Island. I can tell the way you're talking about it. And you're really proud of everything you did there. So what excited you about this Hastings position, superintendent?
Really challenge, right?
Yep.
Like all I have heard since I've been here is we have an amazing staff and we have amazing kids. And now I have in this short time been able to firsthand witness that. And so I'm so excited to just continue to elevate this district and move forward. And, the welcome that I've had from this community has been second to none. It just feels so supported. What brought me here is I had someone call and said, I think you might have a skill set that would fit really well.
Oh, wow.
And I hope that to be the case because I'm going to give everything I have to making the district the very best that it can be in partnership with all of our staff and community.
Yeah. So you haven't been here that long, really. I mean, the school year just started.
66 days to be exact, I think, yeah.
So what has impressed you about Hastings so far? What's some things that have stood out?
Like I said, the warm welcome. Like I have spent a lot of time reaching out to a lot of individuals and groups and just asking a lot of questions. What are you most proud of in this district? And where do you see opportunities for us to move forward? So that welcome has been phenomenal. I've been impressed by the staff, the students. When I was interviewing for this position, I had 2 students as ambassadors. I give a tour of the district, and they were really the 2 who I went, I I want to be part of this district
Mhm.
because I really believe it's something special and couldn't be happier to be a part of it.
That's awesome. Let's jump way back to when you were in high school. What kind of extracurriculars were you involved with? Because I know superintendents, they go to sports games and they go to the music concerts and stuff. What were you involved with back in the day?
Yeah, that's a great question. So volleyball.
Okay.
Played volleyball. Now, keep in mind, the school I went to didn't have a lot of opportunities. So if cross country would have been an
Okay.
option, I
Yeah, you would have
definitely
done
would have done that.
Yeah.
Volleyball, rough in volleyball. And then
Can you spike?
No, I was a setter.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's important. You can't spike without the setter.
Yeah, well, that probably wasn't a great setter either, but that was my role.
Uh-huh.
And I played basketball, and because of the size, you could do multiple things in the season. So I
Okay.
could play basketball and cheer for wrestling
Oh, cool.
at the same time. And then
So one hand you have your dribble and the other hand's a pom-pom?
pretty much a big pillow, a
There you
big
go.
pillow on the ground. And
Mhm.
yes, and a lot of pounding on the floor with wrestling cheerleading at that
Cool.
time.
Good.
Yep.
You were really involved. That's really
And
cool.
then in the spring, I was all about track.
Yep.
So that was my sport.
So do you have any goals that you hope to accomplish? It's your first year. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but do you have any goals for the first year or just in general with this new position?
Yeah, of course I have goals. One of the things I go home every day and talk to my husband about things, and he has said, Tammy, pump the brakes, right? Just pump the brakes a little bit. And there is a time to listen and learn and really understand. And I like to think I'm doing that at the same time, really identifying some of those areas that have some urgency. And so just at the last school board meeting, my goals were approved. And so a couple of things this year that I'll just speak to
Yeah.
is the READ Act. So in legislation, the READ Act was one of the big outcomes, especially for education and how we teach reading. And so that's one of the goals, just to really make sure there's funding available through the state of Minnesota. Not enough funding to go around for all districts. So I want to make sure that we are competitive for that
Yeah.
and in a place to really be ready for that work. And so I'm happy to help with that and structure that. And then just also looking at the innovative programming here at the high school and middle school and what our structure is, our programming needs and pathways, what our students need and are demanding. And so looking at that, and then just communication. What's the communication throughout the district, and really wanting to make sure that I'm engaging with everyone in the community and really opening up avenues for that.
Mm-hmm. Are you a social media person?
You
Are
know,
you going to be like communicating with parents and stuff?
Well, that's a great question.
Are you allowed to even? I don't
The
even
answer
know.
is no.
Yep.
I'm not a social media person, and I will tell you why.
Yeah.
So that was one of my goals years ago. Just because I'm not a social media person, I'm not a Twitter, and I thought I needed to do more of that because I want that visibility. And so it was one of my goals. And then when I would attend concerts or I would be at games and I would be tweeting,
Yeah.
it just didn't feel authentic to me.
Uh-huh.
It felt like I was waving the white flag to say, I'm here tonight, and that's not who I am.
Yeah.
So you won't see a lot of social media from me.
Sure.
Although, if school is going to be canceled because of the timelines of when people wanted phone calls, I would say if you really want to know at 2 a.m, if that's when that decision is made, I will tweet at that time. So then I have a lot of people signing up for my Twitter just so they can.
So is it
find out.
your personal Twitter or is it like Superintendent ISD200?
Right. Yeah.
Is that actually what the handle is? Because we can.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not set up here, but
Okay.
that's what I had in the past.
Sure,
and used
sure.
it predominantly just for that reason.
Sure.
But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
So not a lot of social media.
Sure. You're not on TikTok doing TikTok dances?
I'm not
or
doing
lip syncs or
TikTok
anything?
videos, no.
Maybe
No.
later. Give you a chance to
Maybe
be
not.
new. Let's see. What is one thing you wish people knew about the superintendent position? Maybe something that could make your job easier if people at home knew about just something that maybe could make life easier if people at home knew.
Sure. I think sometimes just what the role is.
Yeah.
And one example that I can give is just the canceling of school,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I wrote an article at one point about what it is to cancel school. And that had a lot of positive feedback. Just, I had no idea. I had no idea that you're out driving the roads or that you're up most of the night, starting usually 2 days in advance with now webinars and all of that. So
as
just
superintendent, you actually have to do
I
this.
did. I was told here by Terry Johnson that, no, you're not going to be doing that. And so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
That will be a change. But I think just in all of the different pieces, I have said, I wish people could follow a day just to understand what that looks like, whether it's negotiations, which is later today, or, being visible at back to school for our students yesterday and today, and just all of the different pieces of that.
So you're saying maybe I could follow you for a day with a camera?
As soon as I
documentary
said that, I
style.
thought,
She's like, oh no, he's going to ask.
Here we go.
Put a GoPro on you or something?
Yeah. Sure.
We'll think about that one. Okay, so school has started. Is there anything that you would want the students to hear from you if they end up watching this interview? I know more parents will probably tune in, but if there's a student watching, is there any message for the students?
Yeah, I think our tagline here is students are at the heart of what we do, and that's really our mission, and I want to serve that and live that each and every day. I think last year when the ambassadors were giving me the tour, they made a comment at the very end of the day that has stuck with me, and it was listen to students. And so making sure that we have avenues for that to happen and know that we're all here for our students. Sometimes I think we lose sight of that, but to know how important their voices are, and that each and every day that's our goal, is to do whatever it takes to meet the needs of our students.
Awesome. Is there any questions I didn't ask you about something you were maybe hoping to share with the audience before we move into the lightning round?
Oh boy.
She's like, wait, lightning round?
Here we go. No, I don't think so.
Cool. Awesome. So we're going to transition into the lightning round. This is just a chance for viewers at home to get to know you a little bit better. So first one, hobbies. What hobbies do you have, Dr. Champa?
So a couple. One is mountain biking.
Okay.
So love to mountain bike.
Do you like e-bikes? Yes or no? Because they're kind of controversial with some bikers.
Well, for me, it's a no, just because I'm pedaling pretty darn hard out there. And so I also do road biking, but mountain biking probably a little bit more often.
Yeah. So it's frustrating when you're pedaling hard and some guy
Somebody
goes
by
flying
me
by.
and I'm like, oh, it's an e-bike. It's okay.
That would be me.
Otherwise,
on the
there's no passing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool. Any other hobbies you want to share?
Running.
Running.
So, yep, I'm on a mission to run a half marathon in every state.
Wow.
And so
how are you doing with
excited
that
about
mission?
Well, it's one of those things that you're like, well, I made it public, so now I got to follow through. But I'm on 17.
Okay, 17.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Where's the next stop?
I don't have anything right now. Actually, Disney, but that one's a ways out in January. But
So if we do that HCTV where we follow you around with a camera,
there we go.
talk about the trials and tribulations of running a half marathon. That's awesome. Favorite food?
Well, I'm gluten-free, so that makes it a little
more
bit
challenging.
interesting. Yep. So I would say nachos.
Nachos. Nice.
Nachos. Yep.
Nice. Very good choice. What type of music do you listen to? And do you have any favorite bands?
So one thing that I did say when I came to Hastings to the
Yeah, you were doing a concert.
No, to this I just said it so you'll know what kind of day I'm having based on what kind of music is playing in the office. But if I could choose, it's usually either an 80s band or Mercy Me. I can only imagine.
There's actually some 80s bands coming to Hastings this weekend.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
what was the favorite band? Did you say Mercy Me?
Yeah. Yes. Or 80s. Just really like a lot of genres.
Yep. So if you're having a bad day at the office, would it be like heavy metal playing? Or?
No, it's gonna be
just
like
chill.
Kenny G,
Kenny
something
G.
like that.
Nice.
Yeah,
I play saxophone, so
well, there we go.
I can come by your office sometime. I'll stand outside the door.
You would be
and play real
very
loud.
welcome
That'll,
to do that.
That'll relax you. Let's see here. Favorite movie or TV show?
I would say favorite movie, Top Gun.
Oh, the new one or the original?
Now the new one.
The new one was amazing. I saw it twice
fantastic.
in theaters.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, love that. And then TV, I would say pretty much anything on HGTV.
Yep. Oh man, my parents love HGTV, and
Yeah,
it's
my
like,
kids are like, uh-oh, mom's watching HGTV. There's going to be a project.
And the way they program it, like once the episode ends, they don't go to commercial. They go right into the next episode.
one, and
So before you know it, you're watching like 4 episodes of House Hunters International.
Yes.
It's crazy. Property Brothers. Cool. Let's see. Do you have a favorite sports team? Do you follow sports?
Well, Raiders, of course.
Raiders, good answer.
Raiders, of
Not the
course.
Las Vegas Raiders, the Hastings
No,
Raiders?
the Hastings Raiders. Right here.
That's awesome.
And then Minnesota Vikings.
There you go. Yeah, we have a TV show on HCTV where I talk about Vikings. And
Oh,
Hunter talks about
excellent.
Packers. So maybe you could be a special guest and talk about your fandom for the Vikings.
There we go. I
There we
would be
go.
happy to do that.
All right, last one here is favorite travel location.
I love to travel.
Awesome.
So I love to travel anywhere, but if I could go anywhere, it would be, it would be Hawaii.
Have you been to Hawaii?
I have.
Which island did you go to?
Maui is my favorite.
Nice.
Which
I did
of
my
course,
honeymoon there.
Devastated now. Where in Maui were you?
We went all over the island. It's not that big of an island, but yeah, we were in the southern region, if I remember right, for the first part, because we were there, I think 2 weeks, about 10 days.
Wow.
So we were in the southern area, and then we also went up to the northern area, if I remember right. So
Okay, yeah.
being able to experience the rural area of Maui and then also kind of the city area was really magical.
Yeah, it's
So.
my favorite.
Awesome, cool. I think that is all the questions I have
All
for you, Dr.
right.
Champa, unless there's anything else you want to add. Otherwise, we'll wrap up the show.
I think I'm
Raiders.
good. Yeah, go Raiders.
Go Raiders. All right, viewers, there you have it. Sit-down interview with Dr. Champa. We welcome her to Hastings. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.